Time for new trekking poles. This one broke off. Inch or two above the plastic tip. The carbide on this one is just pushed all the way in. It's basically worn out. So the bottom thirds of these are pretty much useless. I'm downtown, old town, some kind of town in Portland, where my niece lives. I'm always struck by how livable this city looks. Neat and tidy and clean and efficient. And there's some like apartment buildings repurposed. What struck me here, however,
turn right onto Northwest Hoyt Street.
This struck me. Milwaukee Road. The Milwaukee Road Railroad. Chicago, Milwaukee. What is it? Chicago, Milwaukee, and I can't remember. But when I was a little boy, I lived a half block from the Milwaukee Road railroad tracks. One half block. The passenger trains and the freight trains, of course, were a very common occurrence going by. And I can remember one of my earliest thoughts, I don't even know that I was in kindergarten, that the sound of the railroad cars never woke me up. Even as a young child, I just got used to I'm sure they were blowing their horns and stuff like that as they were going through Kenosha between Chicago and Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Road Railroad. Here in Portland, apparently. Who knew?
Turn right onto Northwest 14th Avenue.
I'm at my niece's house in Portland. I'm going to be heading up to government camp for the ALDHA-West gathering here later today. Looks like the transit options are very good. A couple hours from where I am in sort of east central Portland, I guess. All the way to government camp in 2 hours, $5.50 total cost. Kind of amazing. Looking forward to the event a lot, and I'm sure I'll be taking lots of video and photos from there as well. It's day 76 at the bus stop in Portland, on my way to government camp for the ALDHA-West gathering. Looking forward to it. Beautiful, beautiful town. Got the bus up to government camp. Got off at a stop even before government camp. Walked across the road. Peg leg, who's walking there with the brain. I didn't even get a chance to hitchhike. I crossed the road. They saw me. They pulled over. They rolled down the window, and I said, or they said, like, "Where are you going?" or something like that. No, they said they were going to the gathering, and I said, "Yeah," because the road to get there, it's only like a couple miles, 2 or 3 miles maybe, outside of government camp by trail. But then I suddenly realized that this was probably like a bunch of up and down on the zigzag river, little zigzag falls and stuff like that. And I thought it was just like, I don't know, a quarter mile outside of town. By road, it's like 6, 8 miles, something like that. So they brought me right here. And this is it. American Long Distance Hikers Hiking Association West gathering. So I'm going to go register at the Kiwanis Club summer camp. So here we are. So that's what they needed my trekking pole for. The old spin test. Oh. Nobody steps on my trekking pole. They're brand new. I haven't even used them. Hiker Olympics. I didn't sign up for this. I think I'm glad. This is the main lodge of the Kiwanis Club, Mount Hood facility, which we're using for the ALDHA-West gathering. The meals are in there, the presentations are in there. Both the meals and the presentations have been high quality. Yeah, very, very interesting presentations. Had one last night from the regional director of the PCTA, and a couple today. A fellow invented a new trail, the Four Corners Loop, and he described that. It was about 2,500 miles, almost as long as the PCT, and he got to present, sort of that version of the trail, what it meant for him. We just had one earlier today from Blaze Physio, and I was so impressed that I have booked an appointment with her for right after the event right now. And we just had one from a woman who went from Tierra del Fuego all the way to the northern point in Canada. Not all hiking. Some of it was bike packing, and some of it was paddling, I believe. But it took her 7 years. Very interesting. And we're going to have the group photo here. And a lot of socializing going on, talking trails. Yeah, good time. Good, other people up here hanging out, talking about different trails. And I think it's going to work out that I'm going to be able to yogi a ride from here to Sacramento. So get me 3/4 of the way back to the trail, just in sort of one fell swoop, as soon as this is done in the morning after breakfast. And yeah, should be good. Okay, so Girl Scout has a funny look on his face here, but he's here at the gathering and is down in San Diego. And one of my subscribers.
David Hansen, Farrell.
Well, I want to thank Schrumer because I met him in Oregon and he convinced me that I had to come here. And those of you who know Schrumer, you don't just say, "No, I don't think so." I want to also thank ALDHA-West for having this event and the organization that puts it together. This is a very meaningful event for me, and so thank you all. But I will also observe that it's not the achievement, it's not the destination, and each and every one of you know this in your heart. It is the journey. And so, thank you for the journey.
And now, 2 people, 1 plaque. Joe and Carrie Hazlitt, Elf and Clueless. And these guys I have been hiking with for years in the Bay Area. Josie used to be on the board of this organization.
Nine and dash. Chimney. All right. The professor. Oh my God. And good morning. It's day 78 now. Still at the Kiwanis Club, Mount Hood Kiwanis Club Center. The last morning of the ALDHA-West gathering. It's pretty much just breakfast and also the annual meeting and the raffle. I've lost all my raffle tickets, don't know where they went. Oh well. Good time here. And I was joking a couple days ago that if I couldn't yogi a ride back to California from the ALDHA-West gathering at Mount Hood, they were going to take away my thru hiker card. And fortunately, that won't happen. The same lady who brought me from where I got off the bus, peg leg, and is going to bring me down to Sacramento. And from Sacramento, I should be able to get a bus or train to Truckee. And from Truckee, so, in probably less than 24 hours, no, sorry, a little bit more than 24 hours from now, but say 1 p.m. tomorrow, I can be back on the PCT. So that's all good. And I think Schumer's catching a ride too, so he's a riot. He's a riot. It'll be a lot of conversation there. So good time, very restful. It's going to end up being like a 5-fold 0 day, or the equivalent thereof. Has been restful, and I think when I look back on it, it's going to like break up the PCT into two sort of distinct halves with sort of a little rest area in between. I've been eating meals, hiker hunger meals, 3 meals a day, so I'm sure I'm adding some some good protein and maybe some fat onto my body, so that's all going to be to the good too. And one other thing I don't think I've noted elsewhere, the theme for this weekend was hikers in space. I never got that memo, so I didn't have a costume or anything like that. And the theory, as they explained it, was until this very year, there have been more people who have gone into space than have triple crowned the three trails. And only this year, so now there are, I think, 5 or 6 more through hikers than people who have gone into space. So they sort of celebrated that with all these Star Trek and, you know, space alien themed things last night. Had a costume party. Anish won the costume party. She who is a 3-time Triple Crowner. First woman to do a calendar year Triple Crown, all 3 in 1 year. And this year set a new fastest known time on the PCT for Washington State. I don't know what that time was. We must have passed each other. I told her that because I know I didn't, I would have recognized her. And she said, yeah, you were probably one of those tents in the middle of the night that I just went past. Yeah.